to you by your local Toyota dealers. And by Rooms to Go. Buy the piece, save a little. Buy the room, save a lot. Welcome back to Minneapolis with Brian Hollins and Vanessa Richardson. I am Craig Ackerman. Let's take a look at the starting lineups presented by Mattress Firm. Kevin Porter Jr. remains out. Jabari Smith Jr. as well with an ankle injury. So that means the first career start for Tari Eason along with KJ Martin, Alfred Sengun, Eric Gordon, and Jalen Green. On the other side, you got Russell, Anthony Edwards, Naz Reid in place of the injured Rudy Gobert, Jaden McDaniels, and Kyle Anderson. Russell, Anderson, and McDaniels all had big games last time out for Minnesota as they came from 14 down in the fourth quarter to beat Toronto. But there's a look at Tari Eason in his first career start, a game he will never forget. And Ryan, it's time for the Toyota keys to the game.
First off, trust. It's important to believe in the team play rather than the me play. Have each other's back tonight. That's so important. Transition defense. You got to take away layups and force Minnesota to have to execute. You do this by sprinting, communicating, and building a wall. In rotations, it's important to run the shooters off the line and use your team's speed to match back up, and that takes even more communication.
Front end of a home and home. Same two teams down in Houston on Monday night. Minnesota 2-0 against the Rockets this season. The first two games were mired by a ton of turnovers, both teams averaging basically 22 turnovers per game. We'll see if this one is a tad bit less sloppy as Edwards turns and scores on their first possession.
And that's good defense right there by Eric Gordon. You know, you're forcing a contested tough two, and if Anthony Edwards hits those all night, God bless him. It's just going to be a long night for the Rockets.
Edwards still not quite 100% dealing with a sore left hip, and the Rockets answer.
Great side. Seeing Alfred Sengun, you know, is not a post-up, it's a team play. The ball movement's there, and Eric Gordon's so good at, you know, making that pass out of the pick and roll.
So right again to Edwards at the elbow, this time off the bounce.
Yeah, a lot of times Eric Gordon doesn't get beat off the bounce, but you have to be there in rotations, which we talked about, to help out your teammates.
Jalen Green puts on the brakes, gets it back. He and Sengun really worked well with one another the other night against Charlotte.
Yeah, that's one thing that I talked with Coach John Lucas at shoot-around, and one thing he's been doing is implementing drills where Alfred Sengun and Jalen Green can work with each other and kind of just go through two-man drills, and we're going to see if that pays off, and it did the other night against Charlotte.
Russell misses. He had a monster fourth quarter. I mentioned that comfort behind win 16 of his 25 came in the fourth, and there goes Eric Gordon.
Excellent job from Eric Gordon, just playing downhill, and, you know, he talked about it. There's no shot blocking here. There's no Gobert. There's no Towns, and Naz Reid is a fine player, but he's not really a shot blocker.
And Reid follows it home, and there was a foul mixed in there, so he'll toe the line for one free throw.
Yeah, that Naz Reid is a fine basketball player, and you see him coming out of nowhere here, and not sure where the foul was. That was really phantom. Naz Reid's looking around going, I'll take it.
They gave it to Eric Gordon.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the play, but didn't look like much of a foul.
So Reid is able to complete the three-point play. Your officials tonight, Ben Taylor, Kevin Cutler, and Jonathan Sterling. Two-man game.
Gotta go.
Eason cuts. Shot clock winding down. Back to Sengun. Doesn't take the three. Resulting in a shot clock violation.
You can give that turnover to Alp. He got an open pass from KJ Martin. Just shoot the shot. When you're open, take that shot. And sometimes a little too unselfish there, which is a great sign for the Rockets, but you had to take the open ones.
Not a huge amount of threes taken recently, but when he has, he's been red hot. Obviously going back to that last road trip as KJ couldn't hang on to it. Another start for him, again, as the lineups have had to be shuffled around with the suspensions and then the injury to Kevin Porter Jr. and now Jabari Smith Jr. It's a foot for KPJ. It's an ankle for Jabari Smith. Stephen Salas mentioned that KPJ will be reevaluated in about a week as that foot is still bothering him.
Yeah, I think you got to be excited for KJ Martin. He's really been a shining spot this year's season.
Reid poked it away momentarily. Rockets get it back. And then Martin turns it over. Here comes Kyle Anderson. He's a good playmaker. Now to a trailing McDaniels. He's open. His three is in the air. Gasol's brother against Charlotte. Jaden is better, and as I mentioned the other night, I'm a fan of the McDaniels brothers. But Jaden's better. And he's having a great season as Jalen Green ends up getting fouled from behind by Reed.
And I think that's something that the Rockets can find. You know, the Timberwolves are really not just struggling in rotations, but in pick and roll coverage, even with Rudy Gobert on the floor. So they're still figuring things out as a team, but, you know, don't feel sorry for them. Make them have to work. And if the Rockets can put two halves together like they did in that first half against Minnesota, they're going to be all right in this ball game.
Yeah, Minnesota has won 7 of their last 10. Eason, skip pass deflected. Rockets still have it. And Green had to. Got it off and beats the buzzer.
And that's the thing about Jalen Green. He can hit those tough shots, and you see that a lot. And really unfortunate there. You hit a tough shot, now you got to get back in transition and match up. But look at this. I mean, not a lot of guys can take that play. And Craig, we see that a lot from Jalen.
That left his fingertips with what, like .2 on the 24.